Recently started
liquid
appreciating
plaque.
Mountain Dew.
And we're back. And I have nothing set up the correct way right now because I'm slacking in all the worst ways right now. It's fine. I was slacking Tuesday, I'm slacking today. It's just how it be.
Is
But
is the
what?
background a fucking gif from Journey?
Huh? The desert?
Tyler?
That's a video I found off a
Oh shit,
royalty-free website.
oh damn, my Discord fucked up.
And he's back.
And he's back. Okay. I don't know what's going on. So, on another note, what happened to you all a month ago when we last met up? You all made your way using that same cruiser that you had acquired from that group of thieves, I guess you would call them. You made your way to the Oasis, where you met the uh, individual that you had both received a letter and a vision from by the name of Caslow, the half-elven man who seemed to have done some sort of ritual or cast some sort of spell to send you guys a message without realizing he was sending it to you, just kind of looking for anyone that would help. Um,
Psychic job posting.
yeah, in a sense. And by doing this, you guys finally met him uh, and were told of the troubles that the town of Rapture, the place he's from, were having. Um, before traveling there, before traveling there yourselves with him and meeting the mayor, the sheriff, and one of the religious leaders of the town that you found out was actually Dusk's father by the name of Nero. Um, doing a little bit of asking around once you had gotten settled within the town, you learned about the rumors of what had been happening within the town, strange disappearances, odd plant life that's been growing around, people having trouble sleeping, odd sightings, things of that nature. And while you were doing a little bit of snooping around, you did find that the owner of the mining company within the town was dead within his office, and he had been dead there for some time. After your first night there, only one of you had trouble sleeping, and then you all entered the mines where you encountered these strange, hairless bird-like creatures that attacked you. Um, and after slaying them, you now stand within the chamber, the dust settling around the fight as you guys recover from what you had just seen. So, is there anything you guys would like to do? Or are we going to start the? I have a challenge system I have put in place for this as you guys navigate through. So is there
Does
anything you guys?
anyone? Oh, does anyone need their wounds mended?
Nope.
No, Trinket shakes her head. Nero seems to be in good health.
Magnus just goes over to one of the things he fucking bisected and he picks up both pieces by like in one hand and he just holds it up closer to the light and just says, "They're fucking ugly."
As they say, physician, heal myself. And I'm gonna roll healing word on myself at the first level.
Okay.
So,
Do your
would that
thing.
even come? Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna heal myself 9 points. Which, yeah, that brings, because of that roll, I am at full health again.
All right. Good. So, as all of you look around to one another, Nero kind of steps forward and says, I'd heard descriptions of these things, but none of us thought it was real. He's kind of poking at one that had been slain on the ground. We gotta find the source of this, don't we? It kind of looks to you, Magnus. Where do you think they would be?
This this chamber, what's it looking like, Tyler?
It's just a large kind of dug out. You can clearly tell this was dug out using like pickaxes and various other tools, but it's a larger kind of wide chamber, and it has uh, the narrow tunnel you came through before, and then there's another tunnel on the other side.
Just-
What you can assume is this spot had a large vein of something, and it had been mined out and stripped out, and there's now nothing.
That's what a mine
Still,
is.
still holding the corpse. Magnus just holds onto it and just. If these things dislike the sun, perhaps whatever made them hates it as well. And he just tosses the corpse down the deeper corridor. And it's like, obviously, if it's not here, it's further in.
Gives you a nod. Would you like to lead then?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
Well, that was him asking you, but so we're going to have you all. I'm going to have you all do for this. This is going to be a challenge segment. Each of you are going to end up rolling a d6 at some point, or d12. Sorry. So Magnus, you're leading. How about you roll first?
D6?
Yep, a d12. Sorry.
Fuck! I dropped my metal die.
What did you roll?
A 5. Yeah, 5. A 5.
5. All right. So you enter this corridor. Everyone following behind you, traveling for some distance. You come across a crossroad. Would you? And there's a path to the right and a path to the left that look identical to one another. Which way would you like to go, left or right?
Left.
This is not the right piece of paper. Where's my piece of paper? This will do. All right. You travel down the left path. Continuing down. Next, I'll have Journey roll a d6. Or d12. I keep saying the wrong thing. God damn it. d12. Oh my lord. Why am I yawning? Journey?
It's the third one from the top, the custom roller, right? Wait, no. Yes.
If you hover over it, it's the second one to the top.
Okay, the second. Sorry, I'm on my tablet, so I don't have the
Oh, the
tooltips.
cursor.
Okay. Nat 1.
A nat 1.
That's wonderful, isn't it?
Let's see. As you are heading down, you hear a rumbling before the tunnel ahead of you begins to collapse in on itself. And before you can really get into a position to either try to pass it or do anything else with it, it seals off in front of you. So I'm gonna have you roll again, as you need to now find another path.
Same roll?
Yep.
Okay. 8.
8. Okay, so you guys backtrack. And you head down the right tunnel that you had initially had passed through before. Various small passages that you can see kind of split off from this one, but it seems that the straight path is the way to go. And as you are all traveling, you hear from a crevice along one of the walls of this chamber a kind of sound similar to that, like of releasing air from a pipe. and I need all of you to roll a wisdom saving check as this greenish gas fills up the space around you rapidly.
15.
A what check?
A
Wisdom.
wisdom.
Not 20.
Oh yeah, I gotta roll for Nero and Trinket.
Wise lizard man.
Big brain.
A 9.
A 9. Okay. Magnus, Trinket, Journey. Well, no, Nero stays up. So Magnus, Trinket, and Journey, all three of you are knocked unconscious.
Oh, nap time.
Falling asleep due to this gas. The others, I guess Andraka and Nero, you begin to see these strange hallucinations, various things that are flashing before your eyes, and you Nero kind of places a hand on your shoulder and says, we should probably wait for the others to get up. And I'd rather not try to move when I'm not sure what is real. Kind of looking around hysterically because he's tripping.
I'm going to scowl at him and slowly move his hand off my shoulder.
Okay. He's going to start tending to the others, which a 10-minute period passes before you guys do end up coming back to. During that time, though, the two of you, I will... Journey, you have a very strange trip, I guess you would call it, while you are knocked unconscious. Vivid colors and scenes that are difficult to remember. Magnus, however, has a memory come back to him of some sort. Something that he didn't quite remember before now. Your vision is a bit hazy during this vision, kind of almost like you are looking through the surface of water as you are kind of taking in this vision. You find yourself standing on the edge of a raider vessel, the one that you are quite familiar with, and your crew moving around you as the boat sails along a river you are familiar with in Tiberia that leads towards the Outlands. Based on the surrounding and the various things you can hear roughly through the vision, you remember you had just hit the town of POTUS. And as you glance back, you see two other vessels that seem to be in pursuit. On the deck of one of these ships, you see this white dragonborn standing with heavy plated armor and a long sword in one hand and a golden shield in the other, looking at you with a furious look in his eyes, puffs of white frost escaping his lips as he appears to be growling before swinging his arm towards your ship and yelling a single word: fire. An explosion goes off as several arcane bolts strike your ship, splintering bits of wood around you as you are launched into the air. You see, as you are being expelled from the ship, a fireball striking the deck, burning several members of your crew as before you hit the water and your vision blurs. The air escaping your lungs as you begin to sink further and further under the water, and then you wake. I gotta mark that off as a vision that has been seen. There we go. So you all wake up within this corridor. Nero seemed to be recovering from his little hallucinations, while Andraka's off to the side, just kind of doing Andraka things. But now that you are all awake again, and also from this, you do notice that Trinket is visually shaken by whatever she had seen within her unconscious state for that 10-minute period that you guys were out.
Journey will go over and try to comfort her.
She kind of gives you kind of a nod. She just kind of holds her arms around her chest, kind of staring off into the middle distance, taking a moment before rising to her feet and just kind of shaking off whatever happened. And Draka, because you were awake, I'll let you roll the next d20 unless anyone would like to, or d12 unless anyone would like
Oh
to.
boy, I'll roll the d20.
Nope, roll d12. D12.
D20. 12.
How did you crit on both dice, bro? Got 2 crits in a row. Okay. On a 12. Let me see what you get. You continue making your way down this corridor, passing various other paths as you feel that you are going the right way. Before entering another kind of open chamber, something shifting around in one of the back corners behind a few boulders. Kind of whatever's back there seems to be muttering in Draconic, as you can understand it. It's muttering about whatever this male individual is messing with. And after a few seconds, you kind of get the idea he's trying to figure out how to prepare whatever he has to eat that is behind this boulder. What would all of you like to do? Why am I so cold? Giving you all the floor. What would you like to do?
I'm let the others take the lead here. Today hasn't been a great day for me. I'm kind of shaken by confidence.
And Draka, Dread? Or am I going to have an NPC take point here?
So
You all hear something grumbling and growling behind these boulders, and Draka understands what it's saying, as in he doesn't have to tell anyone, but it seems to be muttering about something it's going to be eating, and it seems to be complaining.
hear it. I hear something grumbling behind a fucking boulder. I'm just taking a wide distance and covering the corner so I can see what's there.
Are you doing it quietly, or are you just kind of doing it?
Fucking yeah, I'll do it. I mean, it's just like slow movement, but it's not really anything like I'm crouching and hiding and shit.
Well, yeah, that would still be a stealth check, because you're doing it quietly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
really
right.
asking. Do you want to roll a stealth check to see if you get noticed or not?
Sure, yeah. 11.
11.
Maybe I should use different dice.
You begin to creep over, accidentally kicking a few rocks here and there, and it stops. Whatever it's doing, the kind of falls quiet for a moment before kind of glancing around this boulder, and you see this small red cobalt kind of peek around the corner. He looks confused at first, looking at each of you, and then says, Are you all here to rescue me?
What are you supposed to be?
He kind of frowns at you and just says, I'm a kobold. I'm one of the miners. I got lost down here. I've been able to find the way out.
Priest, when did the mines become unusable?
Oh, what did I say last week or last month, bro? Oh, but how long had they been
Last year.
closed? Shut up. What? Oh, what was it? I said a specific amount of time, and I'm trying to remember. I don't have the note on it. What the hell? Um, I'm going to say he's going to respond. 2 weeks. If I'm wrong, someone correct me eventually, but I'm going to say 2 weeks.
You've been here for 2 weeks.
More of a weekish. Me and another came in when we weren't supposed to.
Get out.
I would love to, but I can't seem to find the way out. I
I
usually
thought
know
you could see in the dark.
I can, but this place, this confused me. I've lost my sense of direction. There's something here that's making it difficult to traverse through the mines. Before I got here, I could easily go anywhere without any problem, but, well, now I'm stuck. And I don't know where Verns is at all. We got separated at one point when we were attacked, and I don't know where he is. Kind of looks at all of you quietly, just is still nervous and just. Are any of you? What are you doing down here, anyways?
We're seeking to stop the source of whatever monsters have taken over this cave system.
Oh, well, maybe I can lead you a way that might help. I can show you the last place I saw one of those creatures.
That
He
may
kind
be
of
helpful.
he kind of gestures to down one of the corridors. He kind of points you to one of these smaller passages that this corridor leads through. He says, if you go down that way, you should be able to find something closer to the center.
Thank you. I guess on the way back, we should probably come back and help you escape.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I don't want anything to do with those creatures, so I'll just wait here. So, good luck. And if I don't see you, then I assume that you are, well, dead.
You stay safe as well.
Yes, I will try. And he kind of scuttles back behind the boulder and begins messing with something once again. So Magnus, I'll have you roll again for another dice check. We've had 3 successes so far. Or
D12?
three.
D12?
D12.
12.
Well, I'm not going to give you the same encounter twice, so you continue down the correct path further down. Or it seems to be the correct path. You don't seem to run into anything as you're moving through. It doesn't seem to be any of the creatures around. You just seem to be going on a decently straight path. Journey, you want to roll a d12 for me now?
One again.
Wow,
Now, right.
you have. God damn it! All right. Well, I'm gonna have you roll that again. Once
I've had
again,
very good rolls.
Yeah, the tunnel ahead of you seems to have collapsed as you hit a certain point, but there are other ways around this collapse. You just seem to have found the one and have to backtrack a little bit.
9.
9. All right. Once again, you continue traveling down the corridors, making your way through when once again you hear that strange hissing noise of gas. I need once again everyone to roll
Wisdom.
a wisdom check. Or save.
I got a 6. Dirty.
16.
17.
You all black out this time. And you all get strange hallucinations of colors and odd visions that you can't recall all that well. But once you wake up, you look around and nothing's changed. It's just some time has passed. Now, Andraka, final roll, please. KFC.
7.
A 7. I'm not gonna throw that at you guys again. You continue down. All right. You continue down, and this tunnel starts to widen ever so slowly. It gets wider and wider until you enter this larger chamber. You notice there's this greenish flesh-like growth along the walls as you begin to enter it. Almost seems to glow slightly in the dark.
You said something else. Fleshlight growth.
Damn. And the chamber ahead of you seems to be dimly lit. And upon entering it, you can see within this large, probably 100-foot wide chamber, this large, pale creature with leathery white skin kind of crouched down in the center of the room. As you can see, it has this long, jagged beak. Seems to be a very large creature with these long, barbed, crab-like claws at the end of each of its arms, and these 3 large, semi-translucent sacks on its back that seem to all contain a odd, semi-transparent white liquid that seems to be holding something within them. Around it, this creature is 5 of those things that you had seen before. And upon entering the room, the creature seems to turn its head, eyes looking directly at you. The 5 other creatures around it standing up and turning in your direction as the creature stands up to its full 14 feet height and looks upon all of you before letting out this ungodly screech. And I need you all to roll initiative.
I don't like the look of this. 3. So I got a 7.
22.
22.
Wow, 2 22s. What's your dex, boys?
4.
My
16.
dexterity is
No,
16.
it's only Dread. I need
Oh.
Dread's modifier. And which of you has a higher dex? I'm assuming probably Andraka.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Andraka goes first. And I need to double check that I have everyone correct. Magnus is next. And you said you had a 7.
Yep.
And then Trinket is next. And then it's Journey. And then Nero. It's always good to have the cleric go last. All right. On that note, Andraka, you are first. There are 6 targets in front of you.
How close are they?
Roughly, probably the smaller ones, the creatures you had met before, which I'm just going to tell you their name. They're called Ravenged. So The five Ravaged before you are about 40 feet. The bigger one that looks like them but is bigger and scarier is probably about 50 feet.
Okay. I'll just shoot one of the small ones.
All right.
It's an 18.
18 does hit. I'd like to roll that damage.
19.
19 points of damage.
Yes.
All right, you strike the first one that is beginning to start kind of moving towards you guys, and you blow a large chunk of its torso out, and it seems to be barely on its feet, kind of stumbles and lets out this squawk of pain before kind of repositioning itself a little bit to hold its own weight. It is now Magnus's turn.
Well,
And Nate, you might want to, if you want to, just because I can hear your mom in the background, if you want to mute every so often,
Okay.
just for so we don't have to hear her the whole time. I love your mother, but don't want to hear her now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's actually my sister. She talks very
Oh,
loud.
that's your sister? Damn, she sounds like your mom.
fuck it. There's only one real thing a barbarian can do.
Rage and hit.
Exactly.
They're simple creatures, but they're dangerous.
I misplaced my copy of Tasha's. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Who
I'm
would you
just
like
gonna-
to attack?
Just
Or,
gonna
well,
rage.
You have 40 feet that you have to get to one of them with. I don't know what your movement speed is because I forgot.
My movement speed is 40.
Ah, then you can get to the closest one. Actually,
I can't get to
you can
the-
get to two of them. You can't get to the biggest one. You can get to the other five that are in front of it.
Yeah, I'll get to the closest one for now.
So there,
After I
the two you can get to. There's an injured one and a non-injured one that you can get to.
Yeah, I'm gonna rage.
Yes,
Gonna grow a
Rajay.
tail. I'm gonna walk up to the closest one and fucking ruin its day. You know how it is.
Injured or non-injured, because you can reach two of them.
Injured. Let's go injured. Let's just get rid of the problem.
Okay. Go for that injured.
24.
That hits. Roll damage.
That's that is 7 slashing and 9 psychic damage. Oh well, 7, 8, 9 slashing damage because rage.
Okay, so you slash through this creature as it goes to scream in pain, but more of just freezes up as parts of it are removed and collapses to the ground. But it is dead.
Cool.
I know you still have more attacks, so you can attack the other one.
I can reach it.
Yeah, there's two that you could reach. There was a healthy one and a severely injured one.
I can reach it without movement.
Yes. There were two
Okay.
that were side by side that were like very close.
Okay.
I'm building myself a battle map
Yeah, let's
so I
make
can
sure.
track this.
16.
That hits.
Really? 10 slashing damage and 9 psychic damage.
Slashing nines. All right. You strike this one, and it, as you slash through its chest, it kind of, with its claws, grabs its own head as, blood begins to rush out of the wound that you produced across its chest, and it screeches in pain and agony as it kind of stumbles away from you ever so slightly. It is now her turn. The creature is going to... You hear this guttural noise coming from it before it produces this large ball of sludge that is released from its beak and is thrown in your direction, Magnus. And I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
All right.
I need the right dice for this.
Eight.
8. You take 11 points of acid damage, and you are now restrained as the sludge covers your body and kind of locks you to the ground in this sticky layer. And then I need to check if she recharges it. Nope, she does not. All right. And now it is the creatures' turns that are around you. 2 of them are going to come at you. Both are going to attempt to bite at you. I believe because of multiple reasons they do have advantage. What's your AC again?
17.
They both manage to somehow miss. Even though you are locked in place and have advantage against, or they have advantage against you. The other 2 are going to... No, they wouldn't do that. They are all going to attack you. You're the only one forward. Okay. These 2 do hit. And are going to strike you for... That's 2 piercing damage, which reduced to 1. And 7 reduced to 3. So you take 4 points of piercing damage in total.
All right.
And now, another fun part. Andraka, Journey, and then Trinket Nero all hear this sound of gas releasing above them. And as you glance up, you see these, on the ceiling, there are these large greenish pods scattered about the ceiling. This one producing a gas that sprays down over all of you. And I need you all to roll a dexterity saving throw. Magnus is the only one excluded from this.
14.
Okay.
I almost got an at 20, but
14. And I need to double check what the other 2 got. He failed. Trinket succeeded because Trinket is fast. Okay, so Jared and Draka and Nero are both hit with the gas as the others manage to roll away. And will... Which one was I doing? You are now considered blinded as the gas seems to get into your eyes and it burns and prevents you from being able to see. And I think all blinding does is it gives you disadvantage on anything based on... you automatically fail ability checks requiring... You get a disadvantage on attack rolls, I think. Yes. So you can no longer see in that until your next turn, I believe. Or until a certain point. Let's see here. Yeah, till the end of your next turn is you are blinded. It is now Trinket's turn, who is going to dash to the right to kind of split up from the rest of the party. And she is going to use an arrow attack to strike one of the creatures, which hits. She is going to roll this, and she does get sneak attack because they are technically engaged with Magnus, even though he is restrained. She drives an arrow through the back of one of their heads, knocking it to the ground. It is now unmoving. So there are now 3 ravaged around Magnus. As she does this, the bigger one is going to... she's going to use a legendary action. And is going to... One of the pods on her back is going to split open as another one of these creatures drops out of it. Seem to have been freshly created, covered in what looks to be an acidic liquid of some sort as it begins to screech. And then she is going to try to strike another one with an arrow before her turn ends, because she does have that ability. That hits, and she is going to do... She knocks the one that was that you attacked originally, Magnus, and she kills that one as well. So you now have 2 around you, other than the freshly made one that just was released. It is now Journey's turn, who is not blind.
I'm not blind. I'd like to use my looking at my wind fan.
Okay.
Because we're fighting airborne enemies.
So they don't exactly have wings. They're all on the ground.
For some reason, I thought that we were bats.
No, they have a bird-like head, but their arms end in claws like a crab.
That's... I was confused. How big are they on average?
The Ravaged themselves are roughly about the size of most humanoid creatures, so like roughly your guys' heights. The bigger one's 14 feet tall.
14 feet tall. That's a lot of feet. Then I would like to... screw it. I'm still going to use my wind fan to kind of muck up their movement.
Okay. Remind me what that fan will do to their movement.
Okay. While holding this fan, you can use an action to cast the Gust of Wind spell, which is a save of DC 13 from it.
Okay, so I'll roll for each of the creatures. That's a save, that's a save, that's a fail. That's a fail. That's a save.
So 2 of them failed. That's good. And then look at my traits quickly. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to give Trinket a charge of Bardic Inspiration.
Big inspiration. What dice is that again?
That will be a D8. And
Okay.
because I have Unfailing Inspiration, basically you can keep rolling that until you succeed. I mean, on different checks, it stays with you if you keep failing those checks.
Oh, it only goes away if you fail. Okay.
I mean, no, it only goes away
Or
once
if you succeed, I mean, if you succeed.
Yeah, once you
sorry.
succeed, but obviously, you don't re-roll the same check.
Yeah. Awesome. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. It is now Nero's turn, who is going to he's going to cast Shield of Faith onto Magnus, who he had seen roughly where he was. Magnus, your AC is going to increase by 2 until Nero breaks concentration, which I need to write that down. And he is then going to run. He's going to make his way along the left wall to kind of separate from everyone else. And is going to stop He's going to use both, and then he's going to take the dodge action for whenever something does get near him. It is now to Andraka, who is still blind.
I'm just gonna turn and fire wherever I remember the big one being.
Roll an attack with disadvantage.
Dirty 20.
Wow. Even with disadvantage, he still strikes. Roll damage. That does hit.
19.
19 points of damage. That's some spicy water you got there, sir. You hear a screech of pain. One of the larger one as you hit her, not able to see where you would exactly hit. The rest of you do, well, those of you who can see, do see her. She's missing a large chunk of flesh along her right rib. It's now Magnus's turn, who I will tell you that you can use a strength check to break free if you would like.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, 23.
23. That breaks free. So you break out of this hardening acidic sludge and kind of step out of it. You now have your bonus in your movement.
For my bonus action, can I like toss the axe at something?
Is there anything that says that you can't take the attack action as a bonus action if you haven't already done it? Because I know monks have something like that. I don't know if
The
it's
battle
all
axe
people.
isn't considered a light weapon, and I don't have dual wielding, so I would not. That wouldn't be able to do that.
Probably say no, and the only reason is because that attack was made to reduce the action economy. Anyways,
Well, that's a waste of rage. I'll just end my fucking turn.
you did take damage, so your rage would still be persisting.
No, because rage only stays going. If you don't attack for a turn, rage is done.
It's if you don't attack or take damage. You took damage.
If your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile.
I thought it was both.
Okay, there we go. Or taking damage.
Okay, yeah. So I was 99% sure it was both. I wasn't sure. I haven't played a barbarian myself, so I could have been wrong. So yeah, you're still in rage. And the big one is now going to take her turn. And looking around the room, she is going to make her way to Trinket, who is just in range. And she is going to attempt to make a claw attack on Trinket, which is a plus. That's going to miss, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so the first strike against Trinket is going to miss. And the second one will hit, though. She's going to hit Trinket for... If I can find my d8s here. That's 13, 14 points. Oh, wait, I rolled the wrong dice. That's the bite attack. I need the d6. Let me actually do this right. 6 points of piercing damage, which Trinket is going to reduce to 3 using her uncanny dodge. And she is now grappled by the creature. That's the wrong number. There we go. So it is now her minion's turn. Which there are 3 of them still on the field. One of them is going to attack you, Magnus, which it misses. Actually, they're all three of them are around you, so they're going to all attempt to attack you again. That misses. And that also misses. So yeah, none of them. Nope. You said your AC. Well, you have an AC of 19 right now. So yeah, they all miss. So you manage to block off several bite attacks and claw attacks as these things start trying to wail on you with little results coming from their attacks. It is now Trinket's turn, who is being grappled by the big creature. And she is going to attempt an escape from the creature. Which is probably not going to do it. I think she has to roll with disadvantage, if I'm remembering correctly. This thing. No, she does not. It's not barbed. She actually succeeds. So she slips. You watch as Trinket slips out of the claws of this creature, kind of managing to just push them apart just enough to slip her way out of its barbed grasp and roll away from it. The fear in her eyes as she's clutching her bow in one hand. She is then going to take the disengage action and is going to sprint towards the back of the chamber, moving 30 feet away from the creature. And it is now Journey's turn.
Okay, so I'm going to stop doing my gust of wind because I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers at the 3rd level on the big creature.
Okay. Roll.
So-
Wait, what do they have to roll?
Wisdom 16 is the save.
Wisdom of 16. They fail. So roll that damage. They crit failed, actually, but...
15 damage.
15 points of psychic damage, I think. Right?
Yeah, and now it has to run away. Run away!
Okay, so...
Use
it
its
is
reaction
going-
if available to move as far away as its speed allows from you.
And it is going to move in the general direction of Trinket. Actually passing Trinket and giving Trinket a attack of opportunity.
All part of the plan.
All part of the plan. Wasn't 100%. You know, it's now a part of the plan. That's how I think of it. Which that's supposed to be. Let's see. Doing math here. Trying really hard to do math. Not math. Trinket is going to attempt her rapier attack against it. She is going to miss, mainly because she is a little timid of this creature and kind of swings at it timidly and misses. It is now Nero's turn, who is going to look over the situation now that he can see.
Yeah. I'm going to use a bonus action to...
Oh, what's your bonus action?
Yes. Well, I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration again. Yeah, did you roll Bardic Inspiration of Trinket yet?
She didn't need it.
Okay.
She didn't use it yet. She has it still.
Okay. I'm going to give him a Bardic Inspiration charge as well. Nero.
Okay. So Nero also has a D8 to roll with. All right. He is going to... He's going to cast the spell... What spell is he going to cast? He's concentrating, so he can't cast certain spells right now. He's going to cast Guiding Bolt at the big creature, because I think he has the range for it. I think that Guiding Bolt has the range for it. Yes, it does. He's going to cast it at the 4th level. Let's see. And then I'm going to roll a d8 with that, because he's going to use his Bardic Inspiration. And that hits to inflict way too much damage. 27 points of radiant damage.
Hey, Bardic Inspiration did something. Nice.
Don't know many situations where it wouldn't, but this one definitely, it was a definitely helpful one. The creature lets out another shriek of pain, its body very worn and torn up from all of these attacks. And on that note, it is going to use a legendary action called Unholy Screech. And I need everyone to roll a Wisdom saving throw.
15.
19.
16.
You all succeeded. Trinket's the only one to be stunned by this. So the sound of this screech rattles all of you, but you manage to kind of push through it. Trinket, on the other hand, kind of drops to her knees and kind of has her hands over her ears and seems to be in a bit of a state of panic near the back, between the creature and Magnus. She's kind of just laying on the ground, or not laying on the ground, but she's sitting on the ground. It is now Andraka's turn.
I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay. Roll an attack.
24.
That hits. I can undoubtedly say that hits.
And 13 damage.
13 points of damage. Which is going to be 6. Okay. You strike as another large chunk of it kind of is removed and it staggers a little bit. Kind of producing these odd guttural growls and grunts. I forgot to do something. That's unfortunate. Which I'm just going to take the turn now for it. The lair is going to take an action because it does have lair actions, considering you are in its lair. And you see as another Ravage emerges from a pod on the side of the room next to Nero. And it is going to. It just simply slips out of the pod and gets to its feet and kind of produces these odd noises as it looks around. Now it is Magnus's turn. You have 3 ravaged around you.
How far away is that thing with the fucking eggs on its back?
The big one from you, probably roughly right now, about 45 feet-ish away. Because it is along the wall.
Is there anything else 5 feet away from it?
There's nothing 5 feet from it. All the only things that are 5 feet from anything are the things around you and the one around Nero.
Oh fuck! No, my tail has a reach. Yeah, I'm gonna walk. I'm just gonna ignore the ones around me. I'm just gonna go up to that
They're
one.
all going to take an opportunity attack on you. And they are going to attempt to hit you with their claws. You have a 19 right now to AC. The first one is going to hit you for 5 points of piercing damage and is going to grapple you. So you are grappled. Next one is going to attack. That one hits. And that one also hits. They all hit. Wow, they all rolled really well that time. That one does 7 points, and that one does 2. So you take 4 points of piercing damage from the other 2, as all 3 of them have kind of wrapped their claws around various parts of you and are holding tight.
Fine, I'll just fucking kill him. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit. These things aren't very armory.
Well, I don't care which one I'm hitting. They're all fucking grappling me, so that's just annoying. 12 slashing damage.
Okay.
9 psychic.
Okay, that one is still standing, yet very bloody. It's not doing super, super hot.
Another 13.
That one also hits.
11 slashing. 9 psychic.
Okay. That one is also standing as well. Looking a little better than its friend, but is also very bloodied and not doing the greatest. Is that...
That's all I can
yeah,
do.
you can all you do. The big one is now going to take their turn. And it... Oh, yeah, I gotta check if that recharged. It did recharge. It is going to... It is going to approach Trinket. And is going to attempt a bite attack on Trinket. Who is... that... Oh no. Oh no. That is going to be 8, 16, 21, 23 points of damage onto Trinket for the first bite that it does land, as it drives its beak through her back, causing her to let out a weak cry of pain as it does go for its second attack on her. And Trinket is knocked unconscious. And as it does this, you watch as this creature picks up Trinket and it slides her into that sack that had been ruptured before, and she is now encapsulated within it. And now the minions get to do their thing. So the two that are still grappling you are going to attack you, Magnus. That does not hit. And the other one, this dice is rolling like shit, also doesn't hit. So you are still grappled, but they miss both their attacks. Then this one is going to attack Nero, who manages to deflect the attack as its claw goes for him. He kind of swats it away. Trinket's going to make a... Actually, she's technically stabilized right now, so she's not going to make that. Journey, it is your turn. You just watched in horror as your friend has been...
I can heal unconscious people, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cast Healing Word at the 3rd level at Trinket.
I'm going to tell you this so you don't waste the spell. She can't hear you. And you have to... I think you have to be able to... Do you have to hear it, actually? Never looked at Healing Word.
Okay. A creature of your choice that you can see within range.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that would work.
So she heals what, 13? Yeah, 13. Wait. Yeah, she heals 13 health. Is that what I rolled?
I can
Health.
check. Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
She heals 13 points of health. You see her awake within this odd pod and kind of look around fearfully, and she is in that case going to
Bardic Inspiration. Take it.
take...
Wait, no, she hasn't used that charge, has she?
She has not.
Oh.
But she
Save.
can't do anything yet. So why she's in there. And you do see as you heal her, you do watch as she the liquid within it seems to almost be burning her now as she's awake. And she is struggling as there is no air in there. Nero is going to
Bardic Inspiration. Big guy.
You gave Nero... Oh, you're giving Magnus one?
I mean, yeah. Might as well got him, so I might as well use him.
Nero is... What?
What die is it?
It's a D8.
All right.
Ah,
Nero is going to cast. He is going to cast Spiritual Weapon at the second level. At the second level, right over Magnus, and is going to attempt to hit one of the minions below Magnus, which is going to hit. And you watch as this celestial greatsword that has appeared in the air slices through one of the injured creatures that were near you, Magnus. And he is going to turn to the other one that is beside him and is going to attempt a strike with his mace, which is going to hit. And he is going to inflict 5 points of damage. The bonus increases with mace. Okay. Is that right? Yeah. It does 5 points of damage against it, the one that's right next to him. So it is now Andraka's turn. Back to you, Andraka. I didn't do it again. Fuck. I keep forgetting to do the layer actions. Give me a second. Looking at the battle map. Magnus, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw for me. As gas begins to pour out from the one of the pods just above you.
Mod 20.
Mod 20. You avoid this dark green gas that comes down, kind of rolling out of the way of it as it slowly descends, and you watch as it seems to almost burn parts of the floor around it, but the creatures that it went over seem to be unaffected. So now it's your turn, Andraka, because I'm forgetting to do layer actions.
Bang.
Who you shooting?
No. Big one, 12.
12. That does not hit. This time you go to fire it, and it seems to have learned a little bit from your previous shots at it, and it kind of moves a claw to defend itself as it tries to step out of the way, and the round kind of skids off of it and hits the wall behind it, several rocks being splintered out and sprayed out around the area. Is there anything else you can do?
No.
Okay, Magnus, it is your turn. You have 2 still grappling you. Because one of them was killed. Yes.
All right. Is there still another one?
There's 2 on you right now that I've got you grabbed, and then there's one beside Nero.
All right. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does hit one of the minions, yes. Are you doing the injured or uninjured? Because you have one that's fresh and one that's injured.
Injured. 14 slashing damage and 4 psychic.
You split this thing in 2. Just going through one shoulder and then out around the hip. Just drop it on the spot. The last one's still holding you, just kind of...
15.
That does hit.
13 slashing and 9 psychic.
You strike through this one as well, splitting it too as it screeches for only a moment before falling into 2 halves upon the ground, blood splattering.
I'm gonna walk up to the big one, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, you are 10 feet from the... 5 feet, 10 feet from the big one. Math, yes. Put you on the map. Okay. It is her turn now, who is looking upon you. And she is going to step forward and try to do a claw attack against you. But she misses. It's going to then attempt to bite you, which does hit. And she is going to do, as she drives her beak into your shoulder, she's going to inflict 7 reduced by half, so 3 points of piercing damage as she
Hold
tears
on.
a chunk of flesh from you. Huh?
Are you attacking me?
Yes. She bites Magnus. So you took 3 points of piercing damage because you're still raging, and she bit you. The minion, the only one left, which is the one on Nero, is going to attempt to grapple him, which it does succeed. Yeah, even against his armor class, which is decently high. And is going to grapple him for 7 points of slashing damage. That's the first hit Nero's taken so far. And he kind of grunts in pain a little bit as it wraps its claw around him. Trinket, who is within one of the sacks on the back of this creature, is going to attempt to make an escape, which he fails. Is going to take a lot of acid damage and is unconscious again. I could have used a bardic inspiration. I probably should use that, but she still failed.
For some reason, someone chose to call me as soon as you chose to attack me, so fucking, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Journey, your turn. There's
Okay.
big creature and the... Actually, I'm thinking about this too. I'm going to take that layer action I'm supposed to take real fast. Another one of the Ravenged comes out of one of the sacks along the edge of the wall near the backside of the room near the queen, or the big one. So there's another one now on the field. About 15 feet from you, Magnus.
I'm going
Now
to...
it's your turn.
Let's see. I'm going to cast invisibility at the... Let's see. Hey, does anyone want an invisibility charge? Wait, no, I can't. I'm out of those. I'm just going to use it at the second level and turn myself invisible.
Okay, Journey you'll see Journey just disappear.
Might as well. And then let's see if I have any bonus actions.
I don't know if there's anything you could really do.
I'm going to use unsettling words on the big creature. So she will have to subtract a d8 from a saving throw.
What do you say to her? I want to hear this vicious speech that you use against her.
Ooga booga booga.
Terrifying.
Yeah, because Magnus is definitely going to probably attack her. So she needs to roll a saving throw for my next turn. Then.
Okay. All right. It is now Nero's turn, who is going to focus his attention on the one grappling him and is going to cast a second level inflict wounds upon the creature. He has his D8. Let's see if he can roll greater than at least like a 2 or 3. He can. So he is going to hit it with a inflict wounds. You watch as he places his hand upon this creature, and every vein within its body turns black as it screeches in pain and begins to wither away, releasing him from its grip as it falls into a wrinkled up, shriveled corpse before him. It is now Andraka's turn. There's the big one and the little minion next to her.
Bang. No.
No bang? You missed it.
No.
On the big one or the little one?
Big.
Okay, yes, that misses. So she once again kind of dodges out of the way of your round as it strikes the wall behind her again. A couple rocks and various pieces of this fleshy-like plant falling onto the ground around her. And Magnus, it is your turn.
Cool. I mean, this thing is obviously the problem. I'm going to exterminate the problem.
Roll an attack.
Yeah. Um, 24 to hit.
That does hit. I forgot to roll legendary actions that whole turn. It's fine.
16 slashing damage. 10 psychic damage.
How do you want to do this?
Oh yeah, Jared's been pelting this thing. I forgot. How big is its head?
Its head is... The beak itself is 4 feet in length. The head is probably about like 2 feet wide.
I want to take off its head.
Okay. Yeah, so you swing your axe at it as it opens its beak towards you as if it's going to bite at you again, and as it does this, you strike it in the neck. Your blade going through it, even though its tough hide seems to be resisting the slashing motion, and you watch as its eyes go wide, psychic energy pulsing through it before the head falls to the ground at your feet, and the creature stands there for a moment, headless and bleeding before slowly collapsing to the ground. It is dead. But in its final moments, the 2 other incubation sacs that seem to be on its back seem to open up as 2 more of these Ravaged slide out. Trinket, though, however, is still trapped inside the one she is in.
Alright. I guess I'll have to kill this one. Well, I'll have to attack these. One of them, at least. 24 to hit.
Oh, wait, why am I rolling a dice? Yeah, that hits. Sitting here confused.
8 slashing and 10 psychic damage.
Okay. It is still standing, but as you strike this one, it's like the others screeches in pain, kind of grabbing at its head as it stumbles a little bit. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right. All these 3 minions that are all around all let out a screech of anguish, and almost rage and sorrow, all kind of mixed in. And they all are going to rush you, Magnus, because you're right there. That one hits. Does not hit. That one does not hit. So you are going to be bitten for 8 points of piercing damage, or 4, because it is half due to your rage, Rajay. And as well, the creature is dead, so the layer is not going to do anything anymore.
Wait, actually, fuck. I keep stopping you I keep forgetting to fucking say this. How still have a reaction, and I have my tail, which means I can boost my goddamn AC. Jesus.
You still do have the +2 to your AC, so you have like a 19 AC right now because of Spiritual Guardian.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
with
it
my
was.
reaction, it's a 27.
Ah.
That's why, like, when I heard you were attacking me with the Broodmother or whatever, I was like, wait, hold on, and then I get the fucking call. Because I didn't use that this entire goddamn fight.
Oh. I forgot you had that, to be completely honest. Trinket is going to attempt a death saving throw. Oh no. And she is also taking acid damage because she is still within the incubation sac. And is now Journey's turn.
Well, she's in a bad sort, so I'm gonna. How close am I to Trinket?
Roughly, probably 80 feet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move close,
Okay.
and I want to use healing words at the second level.
Let me double check something real quick to make sure that I am correct on this. Oh wait, no, that one, yeah. Okay, you cast Healing Word on her at the 12th level or second level. You
Yeah.
said how many?
So,
You said 12 points or something, or what?
oh, I haven't rolled the check yet.
Oh,
Um,
I'm hearing
so
numbers.
she heals 10.
You see her come to within this sack again and begins to flail about within it, the inside of it burning at her as she's trying to escape. Nero, who is on the opposite end of the room, is going to. He is going to just make his way across the room. He's going to run across the room. Getting roughly 50 feet because halflings don't move very fast. And it is now Andraka's turn. There are three of the minions still on their feet.
What? What's with is Trinket still in that thing?
Yeah, Trinket's still trapped in that thing. Trying to get out, but she has not had any success so far.
How far is she?
From you, because you haven't moved, roughly 80 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Vortex Warp on her.
What is that?
It's I teleport her.
It's fucking awesome.
That does sound awesome. I didn't know that was a spell.
So she's supposed to do a Constitution saving throw, or she can choose to fail.
What is the Constitution saving throw result if failed? Is it just
Uh,
it's teleported?
Yeah, it's they make the throw if they want to not be teleported.
Well, she clearly wants to escape. This. Let's see. Yeah. So you teleport her out of it. Where are you dropping her?
Where are the other Ravages?
They're all around Magnus, who is right next to the dead queen.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put her behind me.
Okay. She hits the ground behind you and lets out a gasp. And is just on her hands and knees panting. Doesn't say anything at first, just kind of realizing that she's not burning anymore. Is there anything else you can do?
No.
All right, Magnus, it is your turn. You have the 2 ravaged around you that are still fighting. 3 ravaged. The injured and the 2 uninjured. I didn't know Jared had a teleportation spell.
All right. Oh. Nat 20.
Okay, who are you hitting?
The fresh one.
Okay, one of the 2 fresh ones.
21 slashing damage. 13 psychic damage.
You carve through this one with ease, feeling your rage growing as it's increasing your ability to just hack through these creatures. Roll your next attack, because I know you have another.
All right. Crit.
Another crit.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're attacking the healthy one.
Yeah.
The last healthy one. Right?
Yep. 18 slashing damage and 14 psychic damage.
You carve through this one as well. And now the only one left is the injured one that stands before you.
Cool.
She is dead. It is going to make a bite attack at you because it has no sense of self-worth and is going to attack you. It is going to crit in the anger of being you killing its friends.
Yeah, well, if it crit, yeah.
And is going to bite you for 14 points of piercing damage, and I need you, based on your curse, to roll a wisdom saving throw. If I'm remembering that correctly, I think that's what's on there.
17.
I believe that's a success. I think it was a 16 was your check, and I'm looking for it now. If D&D and Beyond would like to load, that would be like super Gucci. Yeah, it was a 16. Okay, so yeah, you take the hit, and for a moment you get this sense of maddening laughter that kind of creeps up on you for a moment before you restrain it, push it back, keep yourself from getting stunned by it. And it is now Trinket's turn, who is simply going to sit there and take a breather. Journey.
Okay, so I've kind of closed in on the beast because I need to cast that thing at a certain range, the healing spell. So because of that, I'm no longer cloaked. But is that are there any weakened Ravagers still up?
There's one very bloodied Ravenger that's still standing.
Shoot
Or
it.
Ravaged. Okay. With your hand crossbow?
Crossbow. Yeah.
All right, roll that attack.
10.
You hit. That would barely hit, but you hit. Roll a damage.
Okay.
Their AC
9.
was 9 points of damage. How do you want to do this? Because it's the last one. I'll let you pick how you want to kill it.
Imagine it's kind of like weakly trying to do its like a last resort attack of Magnus, trying to like jump up and bite in him, and then I just like shoot it right between the eyes. It's kind of like midair, and it just like the momentum kind of makes it just fall over to the side, really pathetically.
Okay, so it proceeded to tear flesh from your shoulder. It looked like it was going in for a second bite before this crossbow bolt comes flying over your shoulder and strikes it in the side of the head. And it almost seems to gasp as blood sprays from its mouth, a little bit getting on you as it is sent staggering a few feet from you before collapsing to the ground, unmoving. It is dead. And you are all out of combat. As you all take a moment to catch your breath, Nero moving to Trinket to heal her. You look around the room and you begin to notice that the flesh-like growth that is all over the room seems to be turning gray. And it seems to be almost dying.
Cast Thaumaturgy to give myself a light.
Thaumaturgy. That's a fun way to say it. Okay. And that you then begin to realize as well that sense of cloudedness that was in your head, that sense that was making it hard to perceive the world around you, that almost the clouded effect that seemed to block out your ability to investigate and do other things, that was making it so difficult to find hints of these creatures, seems to have faded away as the queen lays dead on the ground, her blood turning the area around it this blackish crimson color as the blood seems to burn into some of the dirt around it and the rock around it. I need to roll something real quick to see how long that will take. And as you all are standing around, kind of taking in the gruesome scene that you guys had, or the gruesome battle that you had finished, you hear the sound of footsteps coming from the corridor you came from, and as you turn, you see two kobolds, one of which you had met on the way in, who seem to slowly wander in, looking around the room. And as they do enter the room, the other incubation sacs that seem to be around the room seem to split open as these half-transformed humanoids, which look to be the various townfolk that had disappeared, slump dead onto the ground around the room, causing one of the kobolds actually to let out a yelp of fear as it jumps away from one of these incubation sacs that drops out a very familiar human-like man with tattoos covering his torso. The same individual you had seen the night before when you were looking for clues on what was happening. His face morphed slightly, the beak beginning to form around where his nose and jaw are, in this kind of gruesome transformation that it seemed to have ended early.
You're gonna see kind of like the half-transformed corpses and like wretches.
Yeah,
Some gnarly shit.
yeah, it's a sickening sight, to say the least. Magnus probably unaffected. He's probably seen some shit. Journey is probably like, oh dear God type shit. And Draka's heartless. He doesn't care. And Draka's just like, gross. I don't know. But one kobold that you had met before steps forward and says, I assume you've finished it. We're not... I seem to have gotten my sense of direction back, so I assume that you have won? He kind of looks at all of you, blood covering some of you untouched entirely. When I say some of you, I'm just specifically talking about Magnus, who's just drenched in blood. And Trinket, who's been healed, but still a little bloodied and burned.
Magnus just picks up the head of this creature by the beak and says, "Is it that obvious?"
The kobold gives a nervous chuckle and kind of swallows nervously before looking to his friend and then turning back to you and says, we can lead the way out. We've come to remember how to get out of here.
Convenient.
We should burn away this corruption.
Nero looks around the room and says, it seems to be taking care of itself. I think we'll eventually bring someone down here to clean up the rest of the mess, but for now, I think we should inform the rest of the town that we've fixed the problem.
What of the corpses?
Leave them for now.
I doubt their next of kin would like to see them in this state.
I would agree. And that's why I don't wish to burn anything just yet, in case they possibly do. But it's up for the mayor and the rest of the town to decide. And kind of stands up and moves over to the two kobolds and kind of waits for you guys by the door. Trinket kind of a little traumatized also joins him. What do the rest of you would like to do, or would you guys like to leave?
Yeah, I'd like to leave. Fuck this place, it's annoying.
I doubt the horrible mutant creature is really hoarding loot.
Gee, that is a good guess. That's a really good guess. So you guys all make your way back to the surface, being led by these two kobolds, which you do learn the names of, and you had heard before. It was Morky and Verns, which Verns was the one that had been missing, the one you hadn't met. You had met Morky. Upon arriving to the entrance of the this mine, you see a few townfolk kind of talking to one another within the street, and between you and them, there seems to be a human. Looks he at first you would have thought he was human, a tan-skinned human-looking man, with one eye the color of a burning ember, and the other this glowing frost blue color, wearing the sand-colored traveling robe and wrappings around his head. He looks to all of you in interest, uh, making a slight smile to reveal a set of long, snake-like fangs that are within his mouth. And glances back to the rest of towards the town for a moment before looking back to you and kind of making his way forward. As he does, he says, well, I was wondering when you would all come up to the surface. I assume you've completed whatever task it was you had. And gives you all like a grin, further revealing the two snake-like fangs.
Magnus just holds up the head.
My, what an impressive beast you've killed. Well, I have a few questions for you whenever you all are, well, ready to answer. I assume you probably want to talk to the townfolk first?
What time is it?
Roughly at the moment, it is about probably an hour before sunset.
I think we were retiring to sleep even.
Yeah, and you can tell this individual is not from town. You had not seen this individual, and he does not look like someone who would live here. So, but he just kind of looks at all of you, kind of expectantly waiting an answer to his question. As he kind of sits there, he does say, or, of course, we could talk now if you would like. It doesn't
Who
matter to
are
either way.
you?
The name is Incris.
Horrible name. Leave.
Well, I wanted to know how you all got a hold of my sand cruiser.
Killed bandits. It's ours now. Leave.
I would like to reacquire it, considering that was stolen from me some time ago.
The lizard is obsessed with it. It's ours now. Leave.
He kind of frowns a bit, kind of looks to Andraka for a moment, kind of tilts his head a little bit and said, "Never would have thought I'd see one of your kind out here."
The lizard. Lizards love the desert.
But most of his kind usually tend to stick to the swamps. I was going to possibly offer you something, but, well, I guess maybe another time. He kind of starts walking off towards the building that Kaslow's home, where the sand cruiser was. Kind of wandering off in that direction. What would you all like to do?
We probably head off to the sheriff, probably. Put the head on his desk. Job done.
You
So
do see the sheriff and the mayor both in the street, kind of looking off in your direction a little bit. They haven't moved towards you, but they kind of glanced off in your direction, or like looking in interest on whatever is happening. And they've been watching this individual walk away from you. Nero has also kind of wandered in that direction as well, towards the mayor and the sheriff.
I'll head that way as well.
You approach them. The sheriff, being the first to step forward, and says, "Well, I'll be damned. I didn't know such a thing could be living under our town." As he's kind of glancing, he's looking over at the head that Magnus still is holding over his shoulder. He says, "Did you find those that were missing?"
Dead.
The creature turned them.
I was afraid of such news, but I guess it makes sense. Oh, I'm sure you all are very tired and probably are looking for payment. Kind of turns to the mayor, who gives him a nod, and he says, "They're wrapping something up for you. They'll get it to you by the morning."
While still in the middle of the street, Magnus is just going to carve the beak out of the head of this creature, and he's gonna put that in his pack, and he's just gonna leave the rest of it wherever it falls.
You can make like a nasty war axe out of that thing.
All right. Well, you have, call it a Ravaged Queen beak. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but you have it. So you now all have the afternoon to do as you please, whether that is to sleep, to talk to anyone in particular, or to acquire anything. Payment will be given
Where's
to
the
you.
guy who? Oh, okay. I was about to say, where's the guy who was supposed to pay us?
Yeah, they're going to pay you in the morning, which is the mayor is the one who's going to pay you. They're getting something together over the night, and we'll get it to you in the morning.
So yeah, I'm going to head to bed.
I want to see the fortune teller.
Right? You go, Journey, you head to Caslo's to get some rest.
My poor spell slots.
My poor spells. Nero heads off back towards the church. And Draco, what do you want to do during this afternoon?
I'll just go to the roof.
Go into Caslo's roof?
Yeah.
Okay, you go to Caslo's roof. We'll do the fortune teller thing first. All right, so you re-enter the fortune teller's shop, and I'm trying to remember what her voice was. Once again, you do see the alchemist in the front again. I think they're both tabaxis, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me check my notes. It's been a long time. Yes, they are both tabaxis. They work together. Yes. The alchemist is doing her thing as she was before, kind of brewing something else. This time it doesn't smell as acrid as before and caustic. It's a sweeter smell this time. This kind of orangish potion that she seems to be creating of some sort in the back, as she kind of glances up at you and makes her way towards the front. She says, I didn't think we'd see you again so soon. What can I help you with?
This is the alchemist?
This is the alchemist that's talking to you.
No, it's just... I need to speak to the fortune teller.
Let me get her. She kind of slips back into the back room and disappears out of sight for a moment. The tabaxi from before comes slowly walking out, kind of glances at you from the window. What is that clicking that I'm hearing in my apartment? Hearing the clicking, it's really weird. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore it.
It's living in your walls.
It's probably a bug or something that's like an event or something.
It's in your walls.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. These were built in the 80s, so anyway, she slowly comes out and says, "Hello. Didn't think I'd
I
see
killed it.
the creature."
Yes.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I should have brung a piece of the remains, but I forgot to drag it with me after I butchered it. Did you know what it was?
I can't say that I did.
Mm.
Do you know whatever it was from beyond this plane?
That's boring. And Magnus is just gonna leave.
Kind of just watches you walk off. That clicking is getting louder. What the fuck is happening? My apartment about to explode.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
I would.
It's
She
an
just kind
omen.
of she just kind of watches you leave. I'm going to walk away real quick.
What's that mysterious ticking noise?
What's that
My fault.
mysterious ticking noise? It's your death. It's your impending doom.
Oh, it's my fucking air conditioning unit. It's like shifting. I don't know. Anyway, Journey. You go back into Caslow's home, kind of slipping through the front door. And as you do enter, you are greeted by that individual you had seen on the street, who's kind of standing in the middle of the threshold within the room. Says, "Oh, I was hoping to see you. The other seemed irrational."
What do you want?
I simply want. Well, there are many things that I want, but one is my dune cruiser. The other might be of interest to all of you if you are looking for work.
Journey's gonna use suggestion, which is a Wisdom 16 save.
Okay.
So,
Let me check. He is actually, as you do this, you watch him move his hands, and he is going to cast. What level spell is that? I want to make sure that he doesn't have to make check
second
rolls.
level.
He casts Counterspell and cuts you off of your spell. And then he puts a finger up and says, and just simply just does. You should know better to use magic against someone like me. And he kind of pats his hand on one of. You now notice this. He has two rapiers on his side. And he kind of taps one of them, which looks to have this frost blue blade that seems to almost be producing ice along the hilt of the blade, or along the hilt where the blade is. Sheath. I'm naming all the wrong things. The sheath that the blade is within seems to have this ice forming on it. And he says, all I want is for you to listen to my proposal. and
Speak.
speak your friends into possibly accepting.
What's your proposal?
Well, back in my home, Mirage, a couple days' journey from here, I am in need of a group, a capable group that can hold their own in a fight, and that would be willing to join a team of mine for a race that is coming soon.
What manner of race?
Some call it a death race of sorts. Others, it's a lifestyle for some of us. But it is a race through the desert that happens about 3 or 4 times a year,
Is there
depending on the
to
conditions.
guess that we appropriated your racer?
The cruiser is not my racer. No. The cruiser is a simple transport that makes it easier to move around the desert.
Yes.
The racer I have is much faster, but consumes quite a bit of fuel. But
The job.
to simply join the team for just the race that is coming soon. My previous group either disbanded or expired.
And what's the reward?
It's a very large prize. They never specify until just before the race is being set up, but we have roughly probably 2 weeks until they announce.
A death race. Just how fatal is this?
He thinks it over for a moment. Let's just say not many leave the race without being injured in some way. And many before me have died.
May we take you up on this offer? Is it out of the question to use your cruiser to arrive in Mirage?
I would be happy to take you all there.
There's
even if-
more of these miraculous vehicles where you come from. I'm sure we could use the winnings to purchase one of our own.
Yes. They aren't too expensive. You can find the right place, and I can point you in the direction. And
After
even if you didn't want the race, there are many other opportunities within Mirage if you were willing to join.
we receive our bounty tomorrow. I'll speak to the others of your opportunity.
I will be waiting. And you will find me at the gate of the town with the cruiser.
Okay.
Give you a nod. And kind of pauses for a moment before he pulls out a platinum piece and kind of hands it to you and just says, just a small preview of what you could possibly get. And he is going to walk out the door that you just came in through and disappear outside.
Just gonna quickly check for any other visitors before heading to bed.
There's no one else who seems to have come in here except for Trinket, who is currently curled up in a ball in the corner of one of the beds within the room facing the wall. You don't know if she's asleep or if she's just laying there.
Nap time.
Right. And Magnus, as you are leaving, where are you heading to after you left the one shop?
I'm gonna go back to that guy's house, the one who let us crash there.
Caslow? Okay. Wanted to make sure of that. So you do see the individual that you'd seen before walk out of the front of the building and seems to kind of make his way in the direction of the mines a little bit. And stops roughly, probably 100 feet from the entrance of the mine. Kind of just stares into the mine.
Okay.
But, I'm just telling
I
you
don't
this to
give
tell you
a
this.
shit. I don't care about this guy.
All right. And you are heading into the building to rest.
Yes.
Okay, so you all, well, kind of gather up and drag on the roof of the building to take a long rest and to sleep for the night. Journey kind of, is there any RP you would like to do before night ends? Any
Nah, I'm just
conversations?
gonna go sleep. I'm pretty beat. I've used most of my spell slots, so I'm guessing I'm pretty exhausted.
Okay. So you all take a long rest. Waking up the next morning, roughly around sunrise, each of you. And Draka, it seemed to have gotten a lot colder last night than what you'd been used to. You wake up shivering and stiff. Roll a con save for me, Andraka.
15.
Okay, that's good enough. So did you still have that point of exhaustion from before?
I just got rid of it because of the rest.
Yeah, so you don't have it anymore. Yeah, so you're good. I was making sure that you didn't get it back from the cold. But you were cold that night. Deserts get cold at night. I learned this. I lived in the desert. For a few years. But you all wake up the next morning. What would you all like to do now that the day is new, the quest has been complete, and ideas of the future are in mind?
I need to get fucking paid.
Okay, I guess you all are looking to get paid. So you all make your way out of Caslow's humble abode, and head towards the sheriff's office, where you see the sheriff and the mayor both speaking on the front steps of it with what looks to be a decent sized chest by them. And as you approach the sheriff steps forward and says, "Well, it is good to see that all of you are awake. So we have your payment." And the sheriff opens the chest, and you see within the chest there are a variety of fine gems within this chest. He says, there's roughly about 2,000 gold worth of gems within this chest. It was really all we could gather up, as we haven't had too much gold come through here, but, well, the mines have supplied us with plenty of gems. So this is what we can pay you with at the time.
We thank you for your kindness and hope that now that this blight has removed from your town, you may prosper once more.
Yes, and I should really be the one thanking you. Without you all, we probably would have lost a lot more people. But, yes, and he just kind of steps out of the way and lets you guys kind of have access to the chest. So if you want to put, it's 500 gold pieces for each of you of gems.
Really?
Yeah.
You're cut out of that, aren't you?
It's 2,000 in total. There's 4 of you.
4?
You 3 and Trinket.
Fine. That's fair, yes.
Gee, where's Balrock?
Oh, are you talking about that bird
He's
that
fucking
came?
dead. I
talking
killed
about-
him.
You talking about the bird that came into town with all of you?
Yeah.
I think he wandered off into the desert the other day after he stole one of the bottles of whiskey from the bar, and well, we didn't pursue him because it didn't seem to be worth the trouble.
He generally isn't.
No,
I think
we have
gods
no
are
idea where he
good.
went. So he's gone, based on what we know.
The rest of you think, should we pursue him? It's been days.
He's
He's
already
probably
dead.
dead.
Trinket just says, I don't think he's really worth the trouble.
All right.
He was frail and small. He's dead.
And what else would you like to do?
Well, we say goodbye to Dusk. Return her to her family.
That is an idea. You all, you would know that she is in the church within the town.
I'll go to the church.
Is everyone following, or
Nope.
you're just gonna stay on the street in the middle of town?
I am going.
Hand him the trunk. He can load up the speeder. It's at the Oh yeah. Snake guy offered us a job. He's waiting at the gates of town. We'll take the speeder over to Mirage.
To do what?
I don't know, something about death races. Sounds like fun, right? But he said there's other opportunities available in town.
Fine. Just don't expect us to return this.
Yeah. So, what are you doing, Magnus, and what are you doing, Andraka?
I'm going over to that sand speeder thing because we gotta get ready to leave anyway.
So, Journey did say it was at the front of town with the guy. I think you did mention that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you would know it's there. So while you're doing that, Andrak, what are you doing? Are you joining him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you two are heading towards the front of town. Trinket and Journey are going to head towards the church, which we'll do that real quick. So you guys make your way towards this church. And you see the large, probably one of the larger structures here, this nice large church with various stained glass windows. And within the church, as you had seen before, there's the multiple kind of altars for the various gods, with the altar for Dominus in the back, probably being one of the larger of the shrines that are here. And you see Dusk is helping her father with setting some stuff up near the front, and they both turn to you. Dusk kind of giving you both a smile and kind of running forward and giving a hug to you, Journey, first. And Nero kind of steps forward. Yeah, Nero steps forward and says, it's good to see that you all are awake now. I assume you're heading out.
Yes, we've been offered work in Mirage, so we'll be heading out at once.
Nods and he says, well, I thank you greatly for bringing me back my daughter. And he pulls out a small pouch, and you can hear a clinking within the pouch as he kind of offers it to you.
Oh, I can't take this.
He says, I insist.
No. Your daughter was a joy to have around, and she's a wonderful girl. And truly, I was blessed to be able to take care of her.
Kind of smiles at you and kind of nods understandingly, before slipping it kind of back onto his belt. He says, well, that is wonderful to hear. If there's anything you ever need from us, don't be afraid to ask.
Well, then I'm gonna have Journey kind of like stick her hand like down her kind of like shirt and kind of like undo a locket and hand it to Dusk to remember me by.
She kind of gently takes the locket and kind of looks it over and looks at you and says, Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
She gives you a smile and hugs you again.
We'll
And
give her
then-
a hug and kind of squeeze her lightly.
And then once she kind of breaks away, she turns towards Trinket and gives her a hug too. And you can tell Trinket's a little heartbroken by this, but understanding of that this is something that was going to happen anyways, and it's better this way.
And what's the name of her imaginary friend again?
Luna. It's been so long since we mentioned the imaginary friend. Holy shit.
You and Luna take care now, you hear?
She turns to you and says, "We will." And you see the small, silvery dog, familiar type thing with the small devil horns appear on her shoulder and kind of let out a small bark. And then she turns towards her father and kind of walks over towards him and then kind of sets herself beside him and turns back to you guys. And Nero just says, I bid you all safe travel. May Dominus be with you.
Okay. I'll give him a nod and turn to leave. Kinda, now that I'm no longer facing him, obviously, my Journey's tearing up.
Trinket kind of lags behind for a moment, kind of taking a few seconds. And then turns around kind of in the same kind of, not crying, but in a bit of a sorrowful state. You guys head back out and head towards the cruiser. Magnus and Andraka. While they wandered off, you guys headed towards this cruiser. You see, standing upon the cruiser, kind of fidgeting with the console of it, the Incarus standing there and kind of glances in your direction for a moment before finishing whatever he's doing on the console and turns in your direction and says, well, I assume you all are taking my offer.
We need to find work. It's for you. I don't care. Now, unless you're hitching a ride, I believe you should get off of what the lizard has claimed.
Kind of chuckles a little bit. And he says, I will be going with you to Mirage, of course. But I think it's best if I drive.
Magnus just looks over at Andraka, just the questioning look on his face.
I'm gonna aim the gun at the sand speeder.
It seems that he disagrees.
Would you really destroy this thing?
He is not exactly what you would call stable.
That makes two of you then.
Yes.
Well, regardless, we're still waiting for the others, aren't we? And I'm
Magnus Slowly turns to look at Andraka again.
Is he still on the?
He's just he's standing on it. He's fidgeting with the, or based on what you can tell, he's messing with the console of it.
I'm gonna shoot the side.
Roll an attack.
10.
It ricochets off the kind of armor, or the rounded edge of this thing, and just kind of ricochets into the air. The Incarus is unfazed, just kind of continues to do what he's doing.
I thought it'd be a better show.
Kind of glances towards you again. He says, I wouldn't have just built this without having protection on it.
The well-being of the craft is not my concern, so I don't really care what the lizard does.
Well, if it was destroyed, I would have other means of getting back home. But I would rather it make it to Mirage in one piece. And it would be nice if you all accompanied me. Even if you didn't work for me for joining my team for this race that is coming up, it would be nice to have company. Even if a little unstable.
I dislike the concept of your style of races. It's idiotic to mix a moving creature and battle. If you want to see fighting, put the two in a hole and watch them rip their arms off. If you want to see them race, let them race. You mix the two and it just gets complicated.
The only person I've ever heard talk about it that way. It's an interesting viewpoint. Most just call it barbaric.
There's a beauty in simplicity. If it needs to die, you kill it. If it needs to speak, you talk to it. If it needs to starve, you starve it.
There is a beauty in the complication of it all, too. But I wouldn't expect you to understand that.
Complexity wastes time and gets you killed. Complexity has its place. Complexity is never where combat should be found.
He kind of chuckles to himself a little bit. Kind of continues messing with the console. And Draco, what you can see is he's actually, you can see there's, from before what you had initially seen, there are more runes on the control console now. As in, he has either turned something on that has allowed more controls, or he has added stuff to it. But you can't tell. And the rest of you, our Journey and Trinket slowly arrive sometime after this conversation.
Which one of you entertained this one?
Trinket kind of glances towards Journey.
Still kind of tearing up, and realizes Magnus is talking to her. She'll kind of like, sniffle and kind of wipe her eyes. That was me.
You're annoying. And he just gets on the damn he just gets on the damn sand.
The cruiser.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. It's so sad. First has desk leave, and then just like, I know. Oh my god. That's too funny. Alright. Real-
She's not in any emotional state to kind of come up with something.
Real quick, we're going to take a quick, minute or two break. I have to pee. And I need to do
Okay.
that now. So we're going to take a quick minute break. If you guys want to talk amongst yourselves, do that. If you need to do things, do them. I'll be right back.
I got pizza.
Nice.
Yeah.
My character's heart's broken. It's time for sad
Magnus is
mopey
sober.
hours.
That means he's angry.
My character's having sad mopey hours right now. It's like watching your child leave the nest.
This is like Magnus hates almost every single thing about this situation. It's like fucking sand, and fucking hot ass desert, and fucking no real work. It's all this boring bullshit. It's just Magnus is just slowly getting more pissed.
We cleared a hive of mutants that was kidnapping people from the town.
Exactly, it's fucking boring.
Hey, participating in a death race doesn't sound boring.
For Magnus, it just sounds fucking stupid.
Apparently we're doing it with like sand speeders though, so that's cool. It'll be like wacky racers, but with more death.
Alright, so you all gather up onto the cruiser. And Chris messes with the controls a little bit more, and the cruiser begins to slowly move forward before picking up speed and going off into the desert. It does seem to be moving a little bit faster than it was before. As you guys begin your journey towards the city of Mirage, which is a several-day journey that I got to check the distance.
The Andraka, there's stuff you can learn from him.
It's about 8 days journey. So, is there anything you guys would like to take care of during this trip? Any conversations that must be had? Things that want to be... Oh yeah, also, thinking about this, you all leveled up. So we can use this 8-day journey to enhance your skills.
Let's do it.
So I'm assuming Andraka is taking a level in his multi-class. Journey obviously becoming level 7 bard. Magnus gets to become a level 7 barbarian. I don't know what that entails for Magnus.
I get to be even more terrifying.
And I lost something important to me. There it is. All right.
Oh, nice. I can learn 4th level spells now.
Hey, you learned something new, and Trinket got evasion.
Yeah, that's what I get at. Is the my 4th level spell slot.
Gotcha.
I've never actually read what this does. Oh, cool. Advantage on initiative.
Is it Danger Sense? Is that what it's called?
Feral Instinct.
Close enough. There's another one I've heard that's the same thing called Danger Sense.
Oh, I already had Danger Sense.
Or maybe that's 4th edition. That was a 4th edition thing.
Danger Sense is advantage on dexterity saves, as long as you're not incapacitated, blinded, or unconscious.
Yeah, you have to be able to see the target, pretty much, on what's causing the danger. Danger!
Will Robinson.
On that note, is there anything you guys wish to take care of during the journey? Conversations to be had? Do you have questions for Icarus? Do you...
I guess Journey would bring up that we're kind of down our primary healer now. Like, I can do stuff, but I'm not like the real primary healer.
You're bringing it up to the party?
Yeah,
Okay.
if we want to try hiring somebody in Mirage.
Trinket kind of butts in a little bit, and she says, "There are healing potions we could try to get. Probably cash in some of these gems." Just kind of, as she's sitting there, kind of looking at a ruby that was within the pile that she had gotten. Kind of that sense of what am I trying to think of specifically? You know how like cats will look at something and they look like mesmerized by it? The wide eyes kind of dilated. Yeah, she's doing that. It's that kind of face. She's kind of just like slowly rotating it in her fingers and kind of staring at it, kind of enticed by it. Is there anything any of you would like to do? Any conversations to be had? Um, or are
Oh, I
we?
just learned tiny hut. Now we don't have to camp.
You learned Learman's tiny hut. That's a
Yeah. And turns out I have been keeping on top of learning spells, so I actually have 3 more spells to learn right now.
oh, well. You did have that book, that bard book or whatever.
Yep.
Too, so
What does that
that's
do?
pretty much all it is you're it was supposed to be a narrative plot point on how you were learning things. It's kind of why
Oh
I
yeah.
introduced it.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
and I'm blanking out on yeah. So
Hold on. So that book is about magic?
his is the one that Journey has is a bardic book, and it's like bardic magics and stuff.
Okay, so it is about magics.
Technically, yes.
Magnus would be reading that over Journey's shoulder.
Let's have a book club. I'm gonna learn polymorph.
That's a fun spell. That's on. Here's something funny. Evan has a ban list that he has to learn via certain means because he's a wizard. Polymorph is on that list for him.
I can see my known spells was thrown off because it includes your cantrips. Like
Yes.
but this thing says I still have 2 more spells to learn. Oh, and I have an extra cantrip to learn.
Yes.
Nice. You guys just keep on doing this stuff. I'm reading through what I can learn.
If there is no RP things that wish to happen, we will enter the next phase, which would be upon the probably 7th day of traveling. It's been quite uneventful. Ingress seems to know the desert quite well and has seemed to have avoided several dangers and various obstacles that might have caused a problem along the way.
How big is this thing anyway? This sand speeder.
Like, I think if I'm remembering the dimensions correctly, it was like 15 feet long, about 8-ish feet wide.
If it was 10 by 15, I could have put up the tiny hut.
You can put the hut on it, technically.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the tiny hut on it. Let's hang out.
Around the 7th day, though, you guys come into what looks to be a kind of mild sandstorm. And as this is starting to pick up, he's pulled out a pair of kind of goggles that he places over his eyes and wraps his wrappings tighter around his head so that no skin is exposed as you enter this this storm. I assume you do the same journey because I know you have stuff. And Draka probably doesn't care, and Magnus is doing Magnus things. As you guys enter this storm, he kind of glances back in all your directions and says, "We're getting closer now. It's roughly maybe another day and a half, and we'll make it to the city. Looks between all of you and says, "How are all of you holding up?"
Is there a library within the city?
There are a few. What kind
Any
of...
with magus incantations? No, that's not the correct word in common. Any
You're talking arcane tomes and things of that nature?
York? Yes, yes.
Um, there is one or two, but they may be a little difficult to get into. If you're interested in magic, I might have a few tomes in my own personal study. That might
There was
interest you.
nothing. There was nothing in the raids. I promised Mother I'd get her another tome.
Oh, you mean something to keep. I could possibly help you with that as well. Kind of glances at you. Again, just kind of half expecting you to say something else, but then turns back to driving through the storm. Is there any more RP that wishes to happen during this sandstorm as you guys travel through?
If Journey ever stops reading that book, Magnus would ask to read it.
I'll hand it to him.
Magnus is now reading the book.
Does this have anything about rituals?
No.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a
not
bard
ritual
book. It's a
casters.
bard book. It's mainly about like it's like history, it's like bardic history of some sort, and there are various like bardic spells within the book and their incantations and things of that nature. But most of it is like various famous bards, musics, and then some of the spells.
He'd only had me help with the rituals. Can't cast magic myself.
Okay, I took Clever Con, Tiny Hut, Dimension
Oh,
Door, and Polymorph.
Clever Con, I don't think you can have. If it had the astrages in front of it, that's a spell that's a special spell.
Ah,
Actually,
I forgot about that one. I forgot to mention that to you because I'm forgetting that there's other magic casters other than Calder, and the spells that have two astrages in front of them are character-based spells, so they're homebrews, and they have to be acquired through the characters that made those spells.
okay.
oh fuck. I was just looking at people's languages. Yeah, you guys wouldn't understand some of the shit Magnus says.
And for a majority of this trip too, Trinket has been relatively quiet, kind of sitting on like the edge of the cruiser, just kind of staring off into the storm. Her own hood, and various things that she had gotten a hold of as wrappings, kind of wrapped around her. Kind of sitting quietly for most of the trip. There's no other RP stuff. Jump to getting to the city. So, everyone roll a perception check for me.
22.
16.
16, 22.
13.
Okay. Well, Magnus is one of the first of all of you to notice the looming city ahead of you the rough outline of this, what seems to be at first a odd, jagged shape low to the ground with a single tall point that seems to come up like a needle. And as you all slowly approach the city on this cruiser, it becomes clearer and clearer as you see a single large silvery tower that is pointed high into the heavens in the middle of the city, and surrounding it is various large buildings, none anywhere close to the same height as it, but and of these large walls surrounding a city. And as it comes into better view, Icarus kind of turns and says, "We are almost to the gates. If you sit tight, I'll do the talking upon getting in, and then we can go to my home. Unless you all wish to go elsewhere." He's kind of pauses for a moment. You drive for another minute or two, and he leans back again. He says, "And as a word of caution, a thing that many of, well, the people that I associate with say, just keep in mind that there's poison in the fruit here, healing in the leaves." He kind of sits there quiet, like kind of goes back to driving. Keeps. As you guys continue to approach the city, unless you guys have anything else you want to say. Takes down and says no. Right. You guys get to the gates, where, and they're very large gates. You could probably put about 4 or 5 of these cruisers side by side and easily pass all of them through this gate. And at the gate there are various guards in this tan-colored, kind of chitinous-looking armor. Each kind of stopping the few people that seem to be going in and out of the city. It's not a lot of people going in and out. Ahead of you, there's probably about 3 carts and then a couple people on foot that seem to be getting stopped and checked upon getting to the gate. And as you guys get to the gate, Icarus not step forward, but kind of waves down one of the people. And what languages do you all speak?
Common and Giant.
I have Common and Infernal, but I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Yeah, I have Universal Speech.
Oh, so you can understand anything.
Well, I mean, if I, as an action, choose 5 creatures within 60 feet, then. But, so it's like, it's a toggle, and then it recharges after a long rest.
As of right this moment, the only person that would be able to understand this is is Andraka. Because it is in Abyssal, it's what he is speaking. You hear him as he kind of as he's speaking with the guard. You get a sense that he is what's the word I'm looking for? He is he kind of talks to the guard in a way that a thief would, trying to get through kind of a security checkpoint, kind of beating around the bush on why he's there and everything else, before you all see him pull out this small pouch of coins that he tosses towards the guard, who takes them and kind of looks around, pockets them, and gives you guys the kind of gesture for move through the gate. He nods and kind of moves through. No problem. Once you guys have passed through the gate, he turns back to you and says, "Money gets you very far here. And there are a few issues that you might encounter if you don't have any. But onwards to my home." He begins to move through this very large, kind of tightly packed city. The roads between most of the buildings probably they're much tighter than the gate, except for the main road that seems to lead towards the middle spire. Most of the roads seem to only be just wide enough for this cruiser to pass through. Some roads a little bit wider, some closer to allowing 2, maybe 3 of these to pass through. And he weaves through the city a bit. And you've come to notice that within the city there is no storm. And as you look up and around you, there seems to be some sort of arcane field around the city that is protecting it from whatever the sandstorm is that you realize has been going on for 2 straight days. And hasn't let up at all, but is actually intensified as you guys were getting closer to the city. And you guys are kind of taken along, and he pulls up to this decently large building, with a open kind of hole in the side of it that he drives the cruiser into and kind of shuts it down a little bit. And the space that you guys have entered looks to be some sort of, from our perspective, would be a garage of some sort. Various in this space, there's various crafting or tables for crafting various items. There's a alchemy set upon one of the tables. Some of the vials on this table seem to be containing this odd, almost black purple liquid that seems to shimmer just a little bit. And there is a curtain that blocks off a part of the room with something behind it. You can see a various kind of metal parts laying on the ground just on the other side of this curtain. And he slowly climbs off the cruiser and says, well, this is my home. And he kind of gestures around this garage space. He says, this is the workshop where we work on our vehicles and other projects of some sort. Says, if you'd like to come with me, I can show you where you would be staying if you worked with me. And he kind of moves over to a door on next to one of the tables and slowly pushes it open. And kind of glances back to see if you all are going to follow.
As well.
Okay. Trinket's just going to follow Journey wherever she goes. That's right now. What are the rest of you doing? Are you all following?
Yeah, sure.
You seem so against this. You enter the building. The interior, the room that you enter upon going through this space looks to be a sort of living space. Various couches and chairs kind of scattered about a room with a fireplace along one wall. You do see there's another room that branches off of this one that looks to be a kitchen of sorts. And he starts moving up the stairs that's next to this doorway. As he kind of moves up, he glances back. He says, there are rooms up here that the previous team used to stay in. The only one here now is Zemel, which I'm curious of where he is right now. He slowly starts going up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, you enter this long hallway with various rooms kind of splitting off of this that look to probably be able to house 2 to 3 people within each room. Most of the rooms look like they haven't been occupied in some time. The beds made in a way that looks to be waiting for someone to kind of claim the space. And at the end of near the end of the hallway, one of the doors is partially open, and there is lantern light coming from the door. And you hear from down the hallway, you hear a voice go, "Ingress, is that you?" And a half-orc pack pokes his head out the door and kind of glances down the hallway, and at the sight of all of you kind of looks mildly confused, and kind of then steps out, and you see he is dressed in these tan-colored kind of work clothing of some sort, with a thick kind of almost like a apron on that seems to have various dark colored stains across it and a couple of burns as well. And he says, who are all these folk? Icarus kind of glances back to all of you and says, well, this might be our potential team. And kind of gestures for all of you to kind of introduce yourselves.
I guess I'll start. Hi, I'm Journey. Am I the de facto team leader? I think I'm the de facto team leader. I'm the de
You're
facto
one
team
who
leader.
put us into this.
Yes.
Trinket just kind of steps forward and says, I'm Trinket. Kind of stands there kind of awkwardly off to the side. Zimmel kind of nods his head a little bit and then looks to quiet folk in the back of the group.
Magnus just stares at him. Just stares at him.
Kind of looks between you and Andraka. Says, I assume these two aren't much of talkers.
You assume correctly.
Would be the first.
They prefer that their actions speak for them.
It's not a bad way to live.
Or maybe there's Moody.
Kind of shrugs a little bit. He says that is also a possibility. As he's kind of looking over, he says, so, what did the boss see in all of you?
Well, we came upon owning his dune cruiser after we busted some heads and claimed it as a bounty from some bandits we took down. And he wanted it back. And then he offered us this job after we solved a mutant problem. We're in a town weeks away.
Mutant problem.
Yeah, nasty bit of business.
Rodents that needed exterminating.
Well, if you end up not, based on how the boss has brought people in before, if you are not into the whole racing thing, there's probably some extermination work around here. That's more your forte. Says, but I don't get myself in those kind of jobs, so I don't know much about them. He says, I'm more of a worker with gears and vehicles. All right. And he kind of nods to Icarus and just says, "Well, it was nice to meet all of you." He kind of slowly moves back into the room that he was in and closes the door
Likewise.
behind him. Icarus just he looks mildly disappointed, but at the same time expecting such an event to occur. He says, "Well, if you'd like to stay here, you can. At least for tonight, if you choose that you don't want to work with us. There's plenty of other business within the city."
All right.
Kind of gives you all a nod and kind of moves past all of you and kind of moves down the stairs. Trinket kind of looks at each of you expectingly, just like wondering what the consensus is on what's going on. Man, you were all very, very talkative tonight.
No one? Really? No one? Jesus.
I'm expecting someone to say something.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like,
I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh, they're thinking. No, it's just nothing, huh?
No.
Nothing, huh?
Journey just remember
No
she's
shit.
depressed.
No, just no shit. Nothing whatsoever. Fucking nothing. Really. It's Magnus just looks at Journey and just feels that you're the one who wishes to make the decisions.
Hey, I only make the decisions because, hey, listen, that guy offered me the job. Yeah. Kinda had me at a disadvantage, and, well, I'd be foolish for my own sake to say no.
Really?
Yeah, really. Do you know what an implied threat is, Magnus?
Something that gets people killed. I don't waste time with those.
That's why we are in this situation.
He's threatening us.
We certainly did want his ride back. Though he says we can reacquire another one here.
Yes or no?
No, perhaps me in particular. I don't know. I say we get done with the work and get out of here.
Mob person. Fine.
So you all are staying.
Yeah, we're saying.
Okay. I really need background music or something because it was just dead silence and I was like, they died. Oh no.
Oh no.
Right. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't got much more written, so I think we'll end it on the note of you guys resting for the night because I thought the fight was gonna take longer. It didn't. I underestimated you guys.
Or Trinket. Underestimated Dusk's dad. And his like 26 damage fireball or whatever.
I shouldn't have made him cast level 4 that, but you know, it's fine. And plus he was level 8. He was a level 8 cleric, so it's all good. I gave you guys level 8 cleric mainly for the healing part, and you guys didn't need much healing because you seem to avoid all the attacks.
Unless it's Trinket.
Except for Trinket. Because she seems to be the punching bag for everything that I throw at you guys.
Nah, she's the whipping boy of the party.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why she's traumatized. So I guess if there's anything else you guys want to do, I guess this would be the time to do it. There's still a few hours left in the day. if you guys want to talk to one of the two, go out in the town and try to find something.
How much room is there in our quarters we've been given?
So you guys would probably be given 2 rooms, and you guys get to pick the 2 rooms you would get, and you'd
And-
probably bunk together. Like 2 of you would bunk together. So it'd probably be you and Trinket, and then the other 2. Unless of course, and
how
Draco
big is
goes
the
in with
rooms?
you. It's like a dorm room. It's about the size, like a smaller dorm room that would like fit 2 people. There's like 2 beds in there and like a place for clothes, and that's pretty much it.
So the tiny hut.
Yeah.
Cast tiny hut.
The tiny hut would fit. You'd have to kind of maneuver the beds around, but you could cast tiny hut within the room.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's just more comfortable.
Okay. I assume the rest of you have nothing you want to do.
Nope. Not at all.
So yeah, I guess
All right.
Trinket and I have the tiny hut.
It's so weird going from your guys' groups are party A and you guys are completely different on how interactions go, and I'm having trouble adjusting between the two.
Yeah, we exist like we actually watched a horror movie once.
Oh my god. To be honest, the other group, a lot of the times I'll go to say something and they're just like, we want to do this. And I'm like, guess we're doing this then.
Yeah,
But
you left us in the middle of the desert. There's no real ability to do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
we have the
working
tiny
on
hut
that.
now.
You have a tiny hut. You're in a city now that actually can supply things.
Oh, I have a
And
dimension door now, so that's cool. I have
Oh,
my
you-
own teleportation power
teleportation. You can take you and up to one other creature up to 500 feet. I know
Yes.
Dimension Door. I know it too well because it is my escape spell.
now. I will cast tiny hut and put the dimension door's destination inside of it.
So Dimension Door it's not an actual door. It's just teleportation. The one you're thinking of, I can't even think of what
It
it's
is a
called.
straight teleportation door spell.
Yeah, there's another one that you can make a doorway, but I think it's a warlock spell. I'm not entirely sure. I know warlocks can cast it. I'm not remembering what it is. But so I guess.
Oh, sweet! There's telefragging with it. That's neat.
I guess on that note, which I will make a note in my notebook, we are now in the city of Mirage, resting and preparing for the days ahead. I know I'm giving you guys a lack of ability to do certain things, but we're now in a city that you can do more. So I promise it gets better. I have 2 more arcs planned after this one. So
I don't think it does.
you don't think it gets better?
No, I don't think it does.
I think your expectations are different than everyone else's. Jared's just here to vibe, and I think Nate's just like anything's good.
I've lost my surrogate daughter. What do I do next in my life?
The only
You
person who's
stop
having
being
an
pathetic.
What's a
Hey,
bard?
I was a mother to that child when she needed one.
What is a bard without being pathetic in some way?
I have teleportation. I have message, so I can do I can speak into people's minds. I have heat metal, so when I stick my venom dagger and somebody via throwing it, I can just keep on heating up in the battle.
I think it's a touch spell, isn't it?
No,
Oh, I didn't know that. How interesting. You learn something new
That's-
every day. I mainly
that's
don't
both-
use that. I use the same like 5 cantrips, so like I don't learn the other
yeah,
ones.
it's the range/area is 60 feet.
Hmm.
So yeah, stick a bolt in someone, stick a throwing knife in somebody, just keep on heating that thing up.
Unless they pull it up.
Hey, that's why you throw it someplace really hard for them to reach.
The center of the back. that place where you can't itch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, is there any housekeeping that we need to do, or anything that you guys wish to talk about?
I don't got none.
No, because
Nothing.
all the housekeeping I want to do, I can't do at this level.
Oh, what level do you have to be?
Eh, probably like 15. You know, just want to kill all the annoying people.
I'm excited for
let's
level 8.
let's just say this, Dread. When you guys finish the next 3 arcs, if those 3 don't interest you, the thing that will come after should.
It's just like that snake dude, like, for all Magnus understands is that he threatened Journey, so he's probably a really high level caster of some kind, but if I was high enough level, I'd just, open his skull up like a fucking egg. That's the
He
only housekeeping I'd need to do.
Statement of intent.
he might be one of your favorite subclasses for one of the classes, but talk about that later.
So I guess it's
Um,
announcement time.
Yeah, it's announcement time, I guess. So this weekend we don't have anything because I'm not going to be around. I'm going home to my parents. Next weekend, I know. Next weekend we would be doing the vampire.
Next weekend I cause you suffering. Well, next weekend, yeah, Vampire
Yes.
the Masquerade.
Next week you cause me
Finally.
suffering because we're in the underwater
week,
damn
it's
city.
time to cause suffering.
I've been starting to listen to the Vampire Masquerade soundtrack again. Better pull through, Dread.
I'm curious on what's going to happen to Silverback and them, and I'm curious what's going to happen to our little vampire group too, because we left off with me having a panic attack and everyone else just confused and now having a task that we have to complete.
Yes.
Which is fun.
That's the interesting thing about Vampire the Masquerade.
It's
When
the
you're
first
looped into one job, you're stuck in everything else that people want to just shove off to someone they could easily murder the next week.
it is the first time I played a useless character.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad choice. It was a pretty bad choice.
I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time playing a useless character. No one else is, but it's just me.
The party size does not complement a useless character.
No, I do feel bad for the rest of the party considering the fact that I am useless and it's
Because it
3
is
of us and
3
not 4 of
fucking
us.
people.
Yeah, and I'm not a fighter. I have a gun, but I'm not a fighter. But on that note, I guess. So next week we're doing on Thursday at 7:30, as always. We will be continuing the C.O.N, the original campaign that was the initial start of this channel, the Wild West. We will be continuing that next week, and then Saturday, hopefully, we will be continuing the Vampire the Masquerade that has been off and on like crazy because of unpredictable circumstances. And as always, if you guys wish to catch up on previous episodes of any of the campaigns, go check out that YouTube link below. It's on the Twitch somewhere. I checked. It is there. I think it's in the about. Not sure. I do remember seeing it, though. Or if you guys want to catch us in the next stream, join the Discord for updates when we're streaming and possibly chances to talk to us and even in the future do one-shots if one of us decide to do another one-shot where we just invite random people, similar to the Grand Heist one-shot that we did. Or follow us on Twitter, turn on those notifications for any time that we post anything on the Twitter. I'm working on getting into a point where I post more on there because I'm the one who's in control of it. And for the notifications on when we go live, or join the Twitch, or follow the Twitch, and turn on those notifications. If we get affiliate, you can subscribe. Working on getting affiliate right now. We're not that close. We need more followers, and we need a better viewer count right now. I think our viewer count dropped recently. So, as always, we hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.